It's kind of dirty in here. And had some used tissues in it, so that's nice. So go get a new one. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are on our way to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport for a return trip from Chicago to Munich. Today we are flying on United Airlines' premier business class product, Polaris, on a beautiful 787-10 Dreamliner. As we said, this is a return trip from our previous flight experience from Munich via Frankfurt to Chicago in Lufthansa's business class, riding in none other than the Queen of the Skies, this beautiful and iconic 747-8. If you haven't already, make sure you check out that video in the link down in the description. As we arrive to O'Hare, we pulled up to the Premier Access doors of Terminal 1 to start our journey. The Premier Access bag drop was completely empty today, and we were able to get airside within minutes. Hey guys, welcome back to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. We flew over here for the holidays, and now we're flying back to Munich in the United Polaris product on the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. So we're really excited about this flight. We've been in Polaris before, but we've never been in the Dreamliner, so we're looking forward to it. So we just got through security. We're able to drop our bags off at Premier Access with your TSA pre-check. Maybe 10 minutes to get from landside to airside, so not too bad. And now, of course, we're headed over, because we have the Polaris product, we're headed over to the Polaris Lounge. So we're going over to the satellite gates, where our plane is also going to be, and we're going to go to the Polaris Lounge, hang out there, get something to eat, and just enjoy ourselves before our flight. We headed down the tunnel that would take us to the sea gates in the satellite terminal of Terminal 1. If you've flown on United before, you know that their theme song is Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, which you are inundated with on the flight, and it's even now made its way into this underground tunnel of this exclusively Star Alliance, mainly United, terminal. So we're headed now to the Polaris Lounge, and they actually have a la carte dining there, which is really nice. So we're going to see if we can't get in the restaurant. It is first come, first serve. So you never know if you're going to be able to actually get something there. But to be honest, the options for this flight for food were not that great. There wasn't a beef dish at all. There was like a pork and then a bunch of vegetarian options. So not looking forward to the meal too much. We'll see. I'm sure it'll still be good. But we want to get some good food in the lounge. And especially, they have a really good skillet cookie there that Catherine loves. So we're going to see if we can't get something like that.
I love skillet cookies.
Yeah, they're so good. The Polaris Lounge at Chicago was all dressed up for the holidays, which just added to the elegance of this entrance area. Overall, the Polaris Lounge here does have several amenities that you'll find useful on your flights, including large private bathrooms, shower suites, rest areas, and various types of seating, an a la carte restaurant, a full-service bar, and a buffet-style food area. Here you'll also get one of our favorite features of any lounge, sweeping views of the apron. From here we were able to see the gate, C-18, where our 787 Dreamliner was already sitting and waiting for us. Even with all of these amenities in the lounge though, we were faced with some disappointment today. Alright, so we're in the lounge, but it's like an hour and a half wait for the restaurant, which we just cannot do. We're not going to get here 3 hours before our flight. So that was disappointing, but they do have other food, so we're going to try that. It looks pretty good. We've got a chicken dish and some cauliflower with asparagus, and also a soup that looks really good. It's like a corn chowder. And then a tuna sandwich, so we'll see how this is. Is it the same as a skillet cookie?
No.
Yeah, of course not.
The cookies are pretty good.
Yeah. The food, though it was from the buffet, was very good. This is a word of warning that the dining area here in Chicago's Polaris Lounge is very small, so if you're in the lounge during a high traffic time like we were, chances are you might not get the full Polaris Lounge experience. The Polaris Lounge in Chicago is in the middle when it comes to size compared to the other lounges around the US. The thing is, the other lounges we've been in do seem to handle their passengers a lot better than Chicago. Some good news is that United is currently expanding the size of this lounge by about 50%, and the lounge itself is actually closed at the time of publishing this video. The newly renovated and expanded lounge is expected to open again in the spring of 2025. Well, food at the lounge was pretty good. It was disappointing that the restaurant had an hour and a half wait. That's too long, honestly, for people that are waiting here for their flights, unless you're on a long layover. And also this lounge is it's very small. There is a United Club right next to this lounge, which we've also been in, and it is enormous. It's a huge United Club, one of 3 in this terminal, but there's only one Polaris Lounge, and it's really quite small. It can't really hold everybody that's supposed to be in here, which again creates the really small dining area and not very many places to sit. It seems very cramped, but we gotta leave pretty soon to go out to the plane, so hopefully our experience gets better once we get on board. From this lounge, we could walk right next door to our gate, where we found this unorganized cluster of people. We have always had this complaint about how United boards its planes with pre-organized lines for groups 1 and 2. While it seems like a good idea in theory, in practice, the gate areas at Chicago are just not large enough for the long lines of people. Navigating through the sea of people, we did manage to make it on board, and we found our seats. One thing that we love about United is that, with the exception of the business class seats on the 757s, all of the Polaris business class products are the same, no matter which plane you fly on. The configuration might be a little bit different, but this little enclosed seat remains a constant. We can also say that this is one of the better seat types we've flown on. This seat offers comfort and privacy, and it's always been in good repair, and it feels fresh and new in every configuration we've flown on. The flight crew were also playing some soft music over the intercom as we boarded, which gave it a nice ambiance. Though, of course, it was once again Rhapsody in Blue. When we boarded, everyone had an amenity kit on their seat. This amenity kit came in this neat little Therabody crossbody bag. Inside, there were tons of products, including sprays, mists, refreshing wipes, as well as the classics like a dental kit, earplugs, eye mask, as well as some socks. It turned out to be a very nice little amenity kit, though Catherine's had a little bit extra inside. So Catherine just got her amenity kit, and it was already opened with tissues in it.
Yeah.
Normally when you get them, they're sealed up like this, so you can't open it without breaking that annoying little plastic thing. But hers was already opened and had used tissues in it, so that's nice. So go get a new one. We were a little bit peeved to find out that just a week after we had gone on our flight, United started replacing its amenity kits with a new kit. Essentially with all of the same products in a new bag. With this lie-flat seat, you'll find several controls that allow you to control the leg rest, back, and lumbar support independently, as well as some buttons that turn on the lamp next to the aisle entrance, as well as a light in the footwell. There is also a small table directly next to you that's actually a decent size for an airplane seat. Here you'll also find the controller for the IFE screen and some plugs, including a headphone jack and a universal outlet with a USB port. There's also another USB port directly below the TV screen, so you should have no issues charging all of your devices on your next trip. Above the small table was a storage compartment, where we found a bottle of water waiting for us, as well as a small vanity mirror. This is really it for storage in this seat, unless you count the small cubbyhole below the IFE screen. However, with the large overhead bins that are basically your own in business class, we had no issues storing our things. Under the IFE screen, you'll find the tray table, which folds out and allows you to move it in just about any position imaginable, making it perfect for eating your dinner close to you, or pushing it away and storing a few items on it during the flight. Above your seat, you will find a more intense reading light if you need it, as well as an individual air vent. As we were exploring the seat, the flight attendants came around and provided everyone with a pre-flight beverage. I was feeling a bit parched, so I just went with the water, while Catherine got her usual, a champagne. The flight attendants also confirmed everyone's dinner orders and took the orders of people who didn't pre-book. This is one thing where we've been burned before on United, not pre-selecting our dinner entree. For some reason, of all of the other business class flights on other airlines we've been on, United is the only one where we didn't get the dish we wanted because we didn't pre-order. Tonight we did pre-order though, and we would strongly recommend it, even though the concept of trying to determine what you'll have a taste for on your flight weeks in advance is still somewhat foreign to us. That minor complaint out of the way, we started the pushback procedures, and I turned my attention to the window. This is another great feature of the 787, dimmable windows. Isn't that awesome? Once again, I started hearing Rhapsody in Blue, and while I was contemplating whether I was just losing it or not, I saw that the safety video had started. We pushed back from the gate and started the long taxi around all of the terminal buildings to runway 28 right. Our flight today would take us to the east, passing over Lake Michigan, directly over Toronto and Montreal before starting the journey over the North Atlantic, hitting the British Isles and passing almost directly over Dublin and London, passing over Brussels and descending over Germany into Munich's Franz Josef Strauss International Airport. Not long after hitting 10,000 feet, we could hear the flight attendants hard at work preparing our meals. Before the dinner service, a hot towel was brought around, which was very refreshing. This was followed by another drink service with some warm almonds. I was feeling adequately hydrated now, so I decided to go for something a bit more robust than water, a G&T. Dinner service soon followed. Tonight we were given a leafy green salad with cucumber and bell pepper, which, though I wasn't particularly looking forward to, it was actually very refreshing. For the appetizer, I went with this burrata ball with a balsamic glaze. It was light, fluffy, and honestly delightful. For the main, I went with the baby spinach tortellacci with eggplant and this tomato sauce. The pasta was good, but I was not really a fan of the sauce. Of course, this was served with a choice of several different types of bread, and I went with the pretzel bun and Italian bread. For dessert, we had a choice between a cheese plate, carrot cake, and ice cream sundae. I ordered the sundae, but that's when Catherine reminded me of the inedible frozen brick of ice cream we received on our United flight from Chicago to Dublin a few years earlier. I really started regretting my choice, and waited with bated breath to see what would be brought to me. Luckily, this sundae was, well, normal and very delicious. After dinner, it was time to check out the in-flight entertainment. United always tends to have a good selection of new releases and other entertainment options on board. Its IFE puts it in line with many of its other competitors. The interface really hasn't been updated in years, but it probably hasn't needed to be. On this flight there was again a wide selection of movies, shows, games, music, and even podcasts that you could listen to. The IFE also comes with these headphones, which are actually decent. Of course, you could also pull up the flight map and flight information to follow along on the trip over the ocean, but unfortunately there were no flight cameras. I was upset to find that my remote didn't work. The crew tried resetting my system, but to no avail. Luckily, this system also includes a touchscreen. After a while, I decided to check out the bathroom on this 787, and I was a little bit surprised at what I found here. So in the bathroom on this 787, and it's kind of dirty in here. We're only an hour into this flight, and there's paper towel and toilet paper all over the place. So not what you want to see, and a little surprising. It's a very nice bathroom though, very well appointed, got all of the special conditioners and soaps, just a little bit dirty. It was not just this bathroom. Catherine checked out the bathroom on the other side of the business class cabin and found much the same thing. It was a little surprising to us that these bathrooms were so dirty so early on in the flight, as United had kept their bathrooms in ship shape on most of our previous experiences. After that, we decided to get a few hours of rest before we arrived into Munich. I woke up as the flight crew started to turn on the lights to morning mode throughout the cabin, and it wasn't long before a flight attendant asked what I wanted for breakfast. There were two options this morning, bread pudding or eggs with sausage. I went with the eggs with sausage, which came out with baby red potatoes and some greens, as well as a croissant, fruit bowl, and yogurt. This was a massive breakfast, and it was all very good, if not a little bit too big. The winner on the tray, though, was definitely the coffee. Catherine decided to go with the bread pudding, which she said was just okay. As we ate our breakfast, we were able to enjoy the amazing sunrise this morning. There is something magical about being able to watch a sunrise or sunset from above the clouds, and it's always something we love experiencing on long flights like this. We are often rushing through life, especially on travel days. It's nice to take a day like this to just sit in a comfortable seat and take some time to watch the sun rise over the clouds. As we started our descent, it was clear that this majestic morning light was being sorely missed by those on the ground. Over southern Germany that morning, a winter storm was moving in. Thankfully, this didn't affect our flight, and we landed on time into this blustery winter morning in Munich. As we taxi to the gate, let's talk about how this flight went. The experience in Chicago was good. The Polaris Lounge is very well equipped, if not a bit small. As we said earlier though, United is currently expanding that lounge to hopefully better hold its passengers. Regardless, the food we had there was very good, the bartenders were great, and the seating areas, though very full, were quite comfortable. Plus you can't beat apron views. When it came to the flight, we were very pleased. The seats again were comfortable. We really do like United's Polaris product. It offers a lot of privacy without giving up on much else. While there could be more storage space, in reality you have nearly an entire overhead bin to yourself in each seat. Every seat also has aisle access and plenty of power for all of your devices. The IFE is in line with its competitors, and even though my remote didn't work, it was a good experience. The crew were great on this flight. They were all very pleasant, very helpful, and they came through the cabin often to see if we needed anything. The food was also very good, even if the portion for breakfast was a bit large, and there really weren't that many good selections for dinner. Of course, this is all personal preference. So what did we pay for this flight? As we mentioned before, this was our return trip on a round-trip flight booked through United, with Lufthansa making up the first leg. The total price for this round-trip flight was $2,115.15 per passenger. Overall, this was a great price for business class, especially when considering you're flying on both United and Lufthansa, which famously have extremely expensive business class products. Not only that, but we got to fly on this 787 Dreamliner to Germany, and our flight here was on the Queen of the Skies 747. Again, make sure you check out that video. Overall, it was a great experience. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.